Hello my friends, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. I hope everybody's well, and today again we're going to be looking at the brand new series of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 6. The year is 2254. Elon Musk's spaceship is taking the last few people from the ruined planet Earth to their new home on the planet Mars. Also in 2254, Kalani is still bollocking on about divorcing Asuelu. She won't. Yes guys, today we're going to be talking about Kalani and Asuelu. What's new? Not that much. But what the Ebirds are going to be discussing at the end of this video is what do we think is needed to keep this young family together. As per usual, I'll be very forthright with my views. Snowflakes, you can abort now. Just before we begin, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of my new subscribers and all of the old ones too. You're just as valuable, and I want to thank you for sticking with me for the long haul. But if you haven't done so yet, please consider joining the family. It's fun over here. And also, please don't forget to hit the like button. And you can follow me on Twitter at Ebird Online. So without further ado, I give you Kalani and Asuelu. So for those of you who are new, a very quick recap. Kalani and Asuelu have been married for about, I'd say 3 years now. Kalani's from Washington, Utah, and she's 34. And Asuelu is from Samoa, and he's just 25. These guys met when Kalani was on a 2-week holiday to Samoa, where her dad's from, and she had a whirlwind romance with Asuelu. When she got home, she found she was with child. Or as Kalani puts it, Asuelu got her pregnant. Guys, it would seem she had nothing to do with it. And so she applied for the K1 visa, she got Asuelu over from Samoa, and the rest, as they say, is history. And so it's fair to say they've had quite a fractious time since they've been together. Neither one of them gets on with their spouse's family, and it's particularly hard for Asuelu because he lives with his in-laws. And so a couple of seasons ago we had a whole storyline where Asuelu's mum and sisters were demanding money from Asuelu. Asuelu wasn't working at the time, so they were ostensibly demanding money from Kalani and Kalani's parents. As you can imagine, that didn't sit very well with Kalani, and lots of arguments ensued. And at the very last tell-all, these guys had actually split up and they were going their separate ways. In fact, Asuelu was living with his mum and his sisters. But it seems as if things have changed, because when we first catch up with them, they're sitting on the sofa back at Kalani's house. And Asuelu has his arm around her, and he's recalling what first drew him to his one and only true love, the mother of his 2 boys. Big pom-pom, big pom-pom. Yep, that's it. He likes her breast. Oh Lord, Asuelu. Asuelu really does make me laugh. But I don't know if you guys notice, what I really notice about this is whenever he does this with Kalani and tells her physically how much he adores her, she absolutely loves it. She pretends to be somewhat shy about it, but you can tell she really enjoys it. And like I said last season, I do believe for some reason that there is real love here between these two. They just need to learn to identify and eradicate their problems. And problem number 1 is their housing situation. They've always lived with Kalani's parents, and Kalani's parents don't really care for Asuelu or the way that he lives. And to be fair, with some justification, so there are faults on both sides. But Kalani and Asuelu are now looking for a brand new home to move into with their young family. And we catch up with them and they're walking around the new home with the estate agent. And guys, I gotta tell you, this is a brand new home. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so nice. The bathroom is pure marble. And there are quartz kitchen tops. I mean, I have to say the palette is extremely neutral, but you know, it's absolutely fine. That can be changed with quite some ease. It's a very nice place. But guys, one of the main problems that Kalani's always had with Asuelu is that it seems as if adulthood has just kissed Asuelu on each cheek and then run away again. He's a big kid. And I'm reminded how much of a big kid all over again, because when they open the door to the bedroom, Asuelu is jumping up and down on the bed with the 2 boys. What? Asuelu, this is a brand new show home. He's not exactly a slip of a man. You'll break the bloody bed. Asuelu, the E-Bird's gotta tell you, there's only one reason to break the bed, and that ain't it. And Kalani said, oh, I'm sorry. But Asuelu, well, he continues jumping up and down like a naughty little boy. And then we go over to a couple of interviews with production, and Kalani's telling us that the 2 only got married because she discovered she was pregnant. And then she goes over in quite some detail the problems she's had with Asuelu's mother and sisters. And Kalani's still smarting from their treatment of her. What does Asuelu have to say about their problems? Well, Asuelu tells us the main problems come from living with Kalani's family. Guys, this doesn't bode well. They can't even agree what the main source of their problems are. But it's my belief that the main problem is that they haven't got clearly defined roles within this partnership, and also the fact that neither one of them wants to sit and have an open and frank discussion about gender roles and the massive differences that their ethnicity throws up. So Asuelu thinks that all housework and looking after the children is all woman's work and it's all very easy. But by the same token, he's never worked full time. And even when he does work, he considers all the other time that he's not working free time, and he goes and plays volleyball and just hangs out with his friends. But then on the other hand, because of the lack of money, they have to live with Kalani's family, and Kalani's dad seems to be the perfect model dad. He works all day, then he gets home and does stuff around the house, he helps to parent, and now I guess to grandparent the boys. And so Kalani thinks that's exactly what Asuelu should be right now. For what it's worth, my point of view is, Asuelu, if you want to be seen as the head of the household, you got to bring that money in. Nobody's going to respect you unless you're financially independent and looking after the kids you've created. So back at the beautiful show home, the dream home, they ask a question which I consider should have been asked before they set out in the car to even bother to go and see this house. And the estate agent said, "So, what do you think?" And Asuelu said, "We'll just give you the money and move in right away." How much is it? What? You don't know if you can even afford it or not. If you didn't know any better, you would imagine that Asuelu comes from money. Well, I guess he does now. Kalani's dad's money. Guys, it's just $362,000. Now, as you guys know, I'm from the UK, and that's not even a good deal here. I think it's quite expensive. And it's very clear to me by the blank look on Asuelu's face that he doesn't have a clue if they can raise a mortgage for that amount or not. I can tell you, Asuelu, not. So guys, let's see if the Ebird can do any better. Oh look, here at the very first time of looking, here's a lovely little 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom property for $309,000. So I've saved you $55,000 at the first time of looking. And if we look inside, it has a great kitchen, 2 really nice, quite spacious bedrooms, and it's in quite a bit of land. And in fact, I love this little kitchen. I guess the problem is that it's not a new build. However, I think the inside has been refurbished and it's kind of up to the same standard that you were looking at previously. Not quite, but nearly. But I also saw some properties at like $180,000 and $150,000, so these guys need to just have a look around and decide what they can and can't live without. And on the way back home, Asuelu said to Kalani in the car, "I'm not bothered where we move, I just want my own space and look after my own family." And Kalani went down a very well-worn path. Well, Asuelu, this house move will be make or break for us. Guys, it's the first of the season. It's make or break time. Yay! Kalani believes that everything she does in life with Asuelu is make or break. Getting married was make or break. Having a new child was make or break. Going to see a counsellor was make or break. Visiting his family was make or break. Getting up in the morning is make or break. Going to the toilet is make or break. Everything, it seems, is make or break. Newsflash, Kalani. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. And Kalani finished up by saying, "I want something affordable and I want something that we like." Something you can afford. Well, Asuelu then goes on to let us know that he's now doing rideshare and is making loads of money. I'm assuming that's like Lyft or Uber or something. So I think it's fantastic that he's now got a full-time job. And I think the best thing about this kind of job is the fact that if they do need extra money, he'll be able to work longer hours to achieve it. I think it's always been a very negative experience for Asuelu living in that house. As soon as he arrived, Kalani's parents acted like he'd defiled their daughter in some way, and they kind of didn't want him around. And every single time they have an argument, he's always on his own, and Kalani has a big support system. So next time we see Kalani, she's in the kitchen with her mum making breakfast, and they're discussing what the boys would like to eat, and this to me encapsulates the whole problem with this setup. Kalani's mum is absolutely lovely and really helpful, but basically Kalani leans on her parents and her family a lot to help raise the 2 boys, and this is for 2 reasons. Firstly, obviously it's 2 very young boys, they're a handful and she needs help, but the second point is Asuelu's been brought up in a culture where the guys don't really help with child rearing and the women do all the work in the home and the guys bring home the bacon. But it's my belief that because he's never had to do it, because Kalani's mum or dad or sister always step in, it's not even teaching him to put his best foot forward now. And so I do believe that Kalani still living at home exacerbates the situation that they're in and exacerbates all the problems they have. And speaking of problems, guess who's on the phone? It's Kalani, Kalani's sister. And at this point I'm just going to start calling her the sister. Guys, these two names are too much. They get me all mixed up. And Kalani tells us, my sister will never see eye to eye with Asuelu. I just don't ever think it's going to happen. And she further says, my sister didn't even like him before she met him. Kalani, why was that? Let's have a think back, shall we? You got together with Asuelu and you went home. Quite logically, Asuelu thought it was what it was when it was, and he thought it was a holiday romance, and that was it. Asuelu had another little holiday fling at his resort, and then Kalani popped up pregnant. And so of course, Kalani then decided to tell her sister, he cheated on me, which it wasn't really a cheat, and that is why she's never ever liked him. And even when Kalani came clean about the fib that she told, her sister wasn't really buying it. She still didn't like him. And her sister said, what's going on? And Kalani said, we looked at a house today. A house? Is that the best idea? And Kalani said, it sounds crazy, but this is the last shot. There's too many people in the house with too many opinions. And then her sister said, he doesn't realise how much help you get from our parents. Well, the sister may be right. No, he doesn't understand. But nothing makes somebody understand. Like living in your own home and having to deal with your own family. I think this will force him, kicking and screaming, into adulthood. Well, I'm hoping. And then Kalani said, well, at least I can say I gave it my best shot. Come on now, Kalani, try and sound a bit more positive. Her sister then goes on to say, well, if it doesn't work out, I have your divorce party all planned. What? And both of the girls laughed. I don't think this is really a laughing matter. And Kalani said, what's my colour scheme? Her sister said, black, of course, for the death of your marriage. And when speaking to producers, Kalani said, my sister's never really gotten on with Asuelu. And whenever I argue with him, I give the details to my sister. And I talk to her a lot about divorce, and that's why she's so down on him. Well then, Kalani, you need to stop talking about divorce and all of your problems with your sister. Talk to somebody outside your very tight-knit family. That's one. Two, when your sister says negative things, chastise her and say, well, he's trying really hard now, he has a job, he's earning money, and we're going to move out and we're going to make a go of things. This is my kid's dad, so even if you don't like it, button your lip for a second. And all of this tells me, Kalani knows that she's dead ass wrong talking like that to her sister and laughing along with it all. That's why she found the need to defend her actions and her and her sister's statements to production. And we end this week on somewhat of a bombshell. Kalani's sister lets her know that she's going to be moving back home for a month while she looks for a new home. And Kalani said, oh gosh, I'm sure Asuelu will be thrilled. And she said to us, I don't know how they're going to get along. And that's where we leave the story for this week. So what do I make to all this? I consider the following. Kalani, if you don't make your sister at least act cordially to Asuelu, their relationship's going to get even worse. The family need to give Asuelu some space. They need to keep asking Asuelu what he's doing tomorrow. He doesn't even know what he's doing today. They need to stop asking Asuelu, where's he going? I know where he's going, as far away as he can from you, further if possible. Now he's got a full-time job and is able to provide financially for his family. People definitely need, I think, to get off his back. And Kalani, you can help facilitate this by standing up for him a little more. Asuelu, what do you need to do? Well, I do see some sort of growth in Asuelu. He's working more. He seems to have more interaction with the boys now than he used to. Asuelu needs to make sure that he helps Kalani out with the boys and around the house. And he also has to realise that time not working isn't just free time for him to play volleyball with his friends. It's time to interact with the boys. But overall, I think moving out is a fantastic idea. I think it will relieve an awful lot of pressure from both parties, not just for Asuelu. I'm rooting for these guys to make it, and I think it still is entirely possible because I still do see some spark between this couple. Yes, they do argue a lot, but I just feel that spark between them. I really do. So let me know in comments if you think these two can make it. And do you think the two sisters now need to stop bad-mouthing Asuelu and the relationship? I'll be back very soon with another video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you all good day.